Another question, yes?
Yeah, I have a question about how you feel, like, as a big companies, and you have, like, the MPEG, like, patent pool, how do you see, is that different from, a patent troll, like, asserting, intellectual property on behalf of another company? Because it's, in my opinion, it looks very similar. But, in one case, you have the troll going after the big company, and now you're the big company going after.
Well, I'll answer it because that's probably why Oren keeps inviting me. I'm always a troublemaker. So I look at it, and I've always looked at it this way. There is no difference. You can call it you can call them a troll.
Just by the way, Laura broke her hand on the fight on the last panel she was in. So
you can call it a troll. You can call me Sally. I don't care what you call me. But think about it. How is it any different? I heard someone use this analogy, and I thought it was great. It's like saying composers are the only ones that can play their music, right? So if I'm an inventor and I make an invention, I decide to sell it to a troll. Call them a troll. They go out. It's legitimate technology. Now, I disagree with taking crappy patents that you knowingly are out there asserting. That's done by all companies. It's not just trolls that do that, okay? Large companies do the same thing. So if you know you have a legitimate patent and you go out there and you want to, it's the little guy. Most of the inventions, I would go out on a limb and say, most of the innovation and invention that comes out is not from the big companies. It's from the small companies that come up with new ideas. And if you look out there, the products that are out there now, 10 years ago, we're not there, and they didn't come from. So that's my soapbox, and
it's wrong.
Brian, do you have an opinion on this?
Yeah, I mean, a troll or a non-practicing entity is somebody typically that goes out and buys these things and then asserts them and sues people with them. So that's what they do. That's 100% of their business model.
That's right.
What is a pool? A pool generates stuff that's done from operating companies that have legitimate R&D programs that are trying to get a return on their investment. It's not somebody that's a troll.
But if you cut out trolls, let's say tomorrow we say trolls are illegal. What happens to that inventor that invested $10 million? I have a client right now, and people will refer to us as trolls. He's an inventor. He invested, tens of millions of dollars of his investor money. He's out there licensing to get back that investment. If you tell investors now that they cannot sell their patents, how do they monetize? How do they get back the work and the investment that they've put into the patents? You're basically saying, well, look, if you do it yourself and you keep it and you're the one that asserts, in most cases they don't have the money to assert because they've just invested it all in the business that potentially didn't go anywhere, but the idea or the concept is still good. So I don't see the distinction. But I
don't consider that guy a troll because he put blood, sweat, and tears in developing the technology and the patents associated with it.
If he sells it to someone else to get that money back, and the other person is going to take the risk and make the investment, what's wrong with that? This is America. We're supposed to, we're supposed to enjoy capitalism, and I see it as just another form of capitalism.
I agree. Right? You should be able to do that.
I would only add that even trolls need to eat, but but MPEG is certainly not a troll in the sense that MPEG LA is not doing the work of a troll, as all of the patents that are in the pools at MPEG LA are owned by the companies that actually invented those invented those patents or had the innovation behind them. So, companies like Philips, Sony, Matsushita, any number of them, they all have their own R&D departments, and they've all invented they all have inventions that pertain to a certain standard, and they all just pool them together. And if anything, and plus, it's all voluntary. I mean, they can either choose to go in it or not and go out on their own. But these companies choose to go in the pool because it's in a market efficiency. And that's really what it's doing, is freeing the market from all these, the Apple-Samsung fights and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a troll, but by pools. By the same token, I don't see anything wrong with a troll that behaves in an honorable, ethical manner, in that if they know they have crappy patents, and they're doing it to shake people down, of course, that's not right. But if the patents are good, a troll should have just the same set of rights as a pool or anyone else.
So in some ways, you're saying it's more like a mercenary. I mean, someone who's if the patent owner can't afford to or doesn't have the skill set to enforce the patent and therefore get any returns from the work they put in. If it's a legitimate patent and it's done in an honorable way, that strikes you as a valid business model.
It's no different than a large company using an outside law firm to do its litigation. You know, they can't do that litigation themselves. They all use outside law firms. It's just a different financial arrangement. Instead of paying that law firm, you know, you assign the patent to some troll who has the litigation capital and litigation ability to go out and enforce and monetize it. It's just another mechanism for monetizing it. And I think the concern I have is if we minimize that, we're going to minimize all the patents, just like some of the IPR processes that have come out. A lot of companies that wanted the IPRs, now they're finding their own portfolios being thrown into IPR. And now they're saying, well, geez, maybe that's not such a good idea that we did that, right? You know, it's okay when it's the other guy, but when it's your patents, everybody, you know, starts objecting.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think we probably should wrap up because I promised I'd get these guys out of here at 11:15. Great last question, though. If you guys could join me in thanking the panel for joining us today. Thank you very much.